Nancy's Adirondack Art presents Charlie Chipmunk's Spectacular Strawberry Café, written and sculpted by Nancy McGrath.
Charlie Chipmunk lived with Grandpa Chipmunk in a beautiful golden birch tree stump. The tree stump had 2 floors. Downstairs was for the storage of nuts, and there were 2 rooms upstairs, a parlor with a cozy stove, a rocking chair for Grandpa, and a small table for his cup of tea. The second room held their sleeping nests and Charlie's books and stool. And over that floor was a beautiful outdoor garden on the roof. It was carpeted with moss and wildflowers. Grandpa was old and kind of retired, so he spent his days rocking in his chair, drinking his tea, and sharing stories and advice with Charlie. Charlie spent his days gathering nuts for their food and his evenings studying. Charlie and Grandpa loved each other very much, and they enjoyed their lives. But as great as everything was, Charlie had one big problem. He did not like nuts. He told Grandpa this. Grandpa said, "Charlie, what do you mean? Nuts are what chipmunks eat. I've never known a chipmunk that ate anything else." Charlie looked at Grandpa and said, "But I'm so tired of nuts. Nut tea, nut bread, nut soup, green nuts, brown nuts, 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 nuts. I must do something." He thought for a few moments. "I will study this and see what other animals eat. If they like it, maybe we will." Grandpa said he'd try. "Good, we'll start tomorrow." Charlie got his books out and began to study. First he looked up cows. Cows ate grass. "Well, that's simple. I will go out tomorrow and gather some grass instead of nuts, and we shall have that for our supper." He was very excited. So the next night he and Grandpa tried the grass. "Gah, this is awful," Grandpa said. "I'm afraid I have to agree with you, Grandpa." Sadly, he went to fetch them some nuts. The next day he was going to try what the birds were eating. Worms. It took him all afternoon to finally get his paws on one. But at last he brought the squiggly creature home to Grandpa. They took one look at the squirming worm and then at each other and sadly shook their heads. Charlie took the poor creature outside to the yard and let him go. He picked up some nuts from the storeroom on his way back to Grandpa. Charlie went for a walk the next day and met Lucy Ladybug. He greeted her. "Good day, Lucy." Lucy smiled at him and then noticed he was a little sad. "Whatever is the matter, Charlie?" she asked him sympathetically. "Oh, Lucy, I do not like nuts, and that's all we ever eat. I've tried to find something else, but I'm not having any luck." He sighed. "By the way, what do you eat?" He looked at Lucy expectantly. "Oh, I eat the most delicious fat little aphids. They live on the strawberries that grow along the river. I noticed there are also some growing on your roof." "Well, I should be able to find those easily enough." Away he ran to his home, up the stairs, and over to the strawberries growing on his roof. He came to a standstill in front of the berries. The most delicious aroma met his nostrils. He sniffed several times. "Wait, what's this?" He reached out and touched one of the fattest berries on a very juicy spot. He brought his paw back to his mouth. "Ooh, oh, that is the most heavenly taste I have ever tasted." He looked up toward the sky, then back to the strawberry in front of him. He was filled with wonder. "I must bring this to Grandpa immediately." He picked that big, juicy strawberry and carried it down to Grandpa. "Why, my boy, that is delicious. I have never in all my days thought to taste a strawberry. It is spectacular." Well, Charlie and Grandpa gobbled down that strawberry, and every night after that they gobbled another one for a long time. Eventually, Charlie opened a spectacular strawberry cafe for all his chipmunk friends. Of course, they still had some nut items on the menu. They were, after all, chipmunks.